welcome back to Sharp Practice. U.S. American Civil War style, a continuation of our battle for the Bluegrass campaign. The Bluegrass is the central part of Kentucky, if you don't know. The Confederacy did fight pretty darn hard to try to get the Kentucky to join the Confederate States. Was not successful in reality, but we'll see in this one. So far, since the beginning of this campaign, everything's been going for the Confederacy. They've won everything. So they've driven north, and now they are basically, after winning the Battle of Houstonville in the last part of the campaign, they were at Junction City, which is just south of Danville, which is a big crossroads. I'll show you the map here. And you can see from that the options are pretty much open for the Confederacy. With the intersections up there in Danville, they can go a lot of different directions. The goal for this campaign is basically to get to Frankfort and win it all, basically, and secure it. Then we'll have to probably start again if they go that far. I haven't quite thought it all out, but if they keep on winning, this is going to be a... I'm going to have to get creative or get really stupid and have Colonel Hatfield go on a field trip in the wrong direction. Maybe he'll lose his map, because these guys are from South Carolina and Tennessee and Louisiana. They might not be familiar with Kentucky geography. All right, so the spin, which I usually have a different spin on most of these games because I just kind of think of random things when I'm trying to sleep. There are 5 objectives on the map. Each one of them has a red flag and a red and a blue dice in them. If you can get your team to be within 6 inches of like these objectives, and there's no enemy within 12 inches, it's an uncontested, and basically the controlling force will get a point when the Tempest Fugit or the Tiffin comes out, whichever I feel like calling it that turn, because I'll go back and forth. And so I play Infamy all the time. I'm using Infamy deck. But they'll get a point for each objective they control at that point when the Tiffin comes out. So that will, each point will cause the force morale of that force to go up by 1. So if your side controls all 5 of them, you're going to get a 5-point boost every time. So if you get one of those quick turns and you controlled a lot of, of the objectives at the end of the last turn, boom, you get another jump right there. Caveat to that is you can't go above 11. So 11's the max, doesn't build up. Don't want to get too out of control. Don't want so that's enough of that. I'm not sure what that'll do on the game. Just trying something a little bit different, be a little bit fun, and try to keep the, instead of just sitting there hammering away, maybe actually try to capture some objectives. This is a wide battlefield for Sharp Practice. It's only 5 foot across, which means you're going to be guns blazing the second you walk on the board, but 14 feet wide. So should see some good flanking. There's no spawn-in points coming anywhere on your side, basically. The 5 objectives are the bridge over there, that farm little compound there, that intersection there, the church, and then you've got a little farm group over here. I'll get down low here, and you can and from a couple different angles, you can see the topography of the battlefield. Got woods all over the place, and hills and some fences. Nothing too crazy. There's a river over there, but that's kind of a non-factor. Not the stupid hills we're used to in most of my games. The area around Junction City, in between Junction City and Houstonville, is pretty flat. So kind of tried to stick with that. Didn't want wanted more of a field battle just with some objectives, and so here we are. And here's the view from the other end of the universe. It's a good one. Both forces are identical. I'll kind of go over each group for each side, and then I'll show you. Well, before I even do that, got a little snapshot of the order of battle for both sides. For the Union, starting off with 3 groups of 8 Union infantry, are as you're in my hero, Colonel William Alexander Pierce. He's been hot and cold in these battles. Sometimes he's shown up and done decent, and sometimes he's just kind of checked out. So I think he was decent at Houstonville. That was a bloody one. And let's see if he can keep up the momentum. His adjutant, Major James Kirk, he also has 3 groups of 8 Union infantry. He is a level 3 leader, where Colonel Pierce is level 4. He's been a workhorse. He's taken the brunt of the Confederacy for basically every single battle. It's been a beast. He's been shot to hell. I don't know how he has any troops left. I think he's been working the recruiting station hard. Both of these 2 main groups both have a color party with them. So we got a musician and, of course, the flag. Got a little promotion here. It's been kind of a non-factor for the entire conflict so far. Captain Greg Allen bumped up to a level 3 leader. I went out and bought some Perry medals. So he picked up 3 more groups of 8 infantry. I kind of put some static grass down on these bases and redid them, just to be a little bit different than the usual stuff I do. I felt like doing something a bit different. So another 3 groups of 8, another level 3 leader here. See if it makes him more of a factor in the combat, because usually he kind of gets left in the background and is a doesn't get the priority of orders, and doesn't do a whole lot. I think he was getting ready to do something at Houstonville, and then the force morale ticked off, and he didn't get a chance to engage. Leader number 4 for the Union is First Lieutenant Anthony Morgan. He's got his 2 groups of 8 Union Zouaves. He got murdered in one of the battles. I can't remember which one it was. He popped out and just got smoked. I think it was before Houstonville. That was a tactical error by me, still learning the game. But yeah, he's a level 2 leader. The Zouaves get the light infantry bonus, so they're going to be doing their thing, and they're usually pretty deadly. I was debating about getting another group of 8 of these guys, but I think they're good enough with where they are, and if I add another 8 guys to this formation, they'll smoke them like they got them. So they're good. They'll be able to move around a little better because they're a smaller formation, but yeah, they should continue to dominate. Leaders 4, 5, and 6 are all 2nd lieutenants with 6 Union skirmishers in each group. We got 2nd Lieutenant Daniel Potter, 2nd Lieutenant Douglas Carmichael, and 2nd Lieutenant Ethan Jones. And they are all level 1 leaders. And yeah, they've been hit or miss, but that's what skirmishers do. They kind of get out there and do their thing. I definitely need to work on my tactics. I've been trying to improve slowly. I think I did well, especially with the Confederates, with when they were advancing, using skirmish screens to hold off and keep their protect themselves when they were in the open. And then leader 8 is 1st Lieutenant Joseph Markey, level 2 leader, 2 9-pound Parrott guns. If you haven't seen one of these battles before in this campaign, double medium guns is pretty brutal. So hopefully they'll continue to impress. This might be a little bit different just because of the width of the game. So usually these guys get a big advantage with their range and no one else being able to shoot them for the most part. Just kind of sit in the back of the board and blasting away. They'll be up close and personal on this one, so they will be taking incoming fire. So I'll see what that does. On the order of battle, I had the 2 cavalry units. I just haven't finished pinning them yet. I'm looking forward to getting them done. They'll be in the next battle, which will either be Danville or they'll push the Confederacy back towards Houstonville to regroup, or a different direction. We'll find something new to do if we need to. And yeah, the cavalry will be, of course, each side will have a group of 8. But they're going to serve as dragoons. So I'm not only painting the mounted cavalry, I'm painting the dismounted group of 6 when they turn into skirmishers, and the horse holder unit that'll basically symbolize when they dismount where they have to get back to remount up again. So having a little bit of fun with it. Leading off, the Confederates, Colonel Clarence Willard Hatfield III, with the Citadel graduating class of 1861. It's got a color party, got the drummer. These guys, compared to the normal Confederate troops that just get the one shot and then they go uncontrolled, the one present, these guys can do it all the time. So these guys are a well-lubed killing machine, and they've been great. I think they've dominated every single battle so far. So the Colonel is looking forward to continue that, and he wants to get to Frankfort and basically get these guys to join the Confederate force. Standard Confederate Union here, they got 3 groups of 8. This is Major Kevin Masters. He's also been dominant. Most of the Confederate troops have done well in all the previous battles. They got 3 groups of 8s. They get 1 time they can present. All the Union troops can present all the time, but the big difference is where the Union has stubborn, these guys got rebel yell, so they can go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And that is a great rule, especially very similar to the pas de charge of the French. And yeah, it's kind of nice. I like it a lot. Well used, good way to get in there and mix it up and pull some shock. And this is the Tennessee Regulars. Captain Chris Cassagne, like Captain Allen, got a promotion. He's a level 3 leader now. Picked up another 8 guys, so now he has 3 groups of 8. Got some static grass going on. These are the boys from Louisiana. Just trying to see, playing around with that a little bit to see if I can make this unit more of an impact. So they'll also be able to shoot 1 present, then they'll go uncontrolled. But they also have rebel yell. Leader number 4 for the Confederacy is the Confederate Zouaves. Not sure where they're from. I think there were some Zouave units from South Carolina and Tennessee. I can't remember exactly. There was a lot more Union Zouaves than there was Confederate, from what I've read. First Lieutenant Keith Masters, level 2 leader, 2 groups of 8, light infantry, Zouaves. They're moving and shooting. They should be fine. Leaders 5, 6, and 7 for the Confederacy are similar to the Union. 3 groups of 6 Confederate skirmishers. 3 leaders, all level 1. Second Lieutenant Jordan Salee. Second Lieutenant Nicholas Turpin, who's been in Fuego with his shooting. And then Second Lieutenant Jeremy Franco. And then commanding the Death Star, First Lieutenant Jonathan Matthew Johnson. 2 9-pound Union stolen Parrott guns, medium artillery. He's been devastating. I think he's just blown the heck out of everything. He's been the MVP. He's been doing some good shooting and looking to continue it. And same thing I said about the Union artillery. These guys are going to come out, and they're used to not being shot at because they've been able to outrange everybody. They're going to be in the thick of it. That should do it. We'll do force morale here in a minute. Just want to thank the community. I mean, I've been learning sharp practice. It's been a blast. I've watched tons of games on a lot of your channels, especially Travis the Tabletop CP and Alex, and of course the Two Fat Lardies site, and several other sharp practice channels. It's a phenomenal system. It's kind of great to get down here and knock it out. It's not like the usually week-long slugfest of a General Day Armée game or something like that, which I do enjoy those too. But this is kind of fun and quick a lot of times. But this one might last a little bit longer, to tell you the truth, with this little force morale tweak I've done, which I'm kind of excited about. But I did learn. I was mixing up well, I wasn't mixing up. I was totally screwing up the form up order and the drill. That was a mistake I made, pointed out to me by some guys in the community, so I thank you very much. I was also screwing up my movement. For some reason, I thought if it did 2 movements, it was considered a run, so I was only doing 2 dice, but you know, run is an extra dice, plus you can step out and get like 4 dice, and heck, if you're on a road, it's 5d6 of movement, so that's really nice. You can go flying. So I was half moving, and it wasn't intentional. It was just a screw up of my part. I think between the rules from Infamy, and then coming over to this system, I definitely just got it confused in my mind. And if that's the last mistake I make, yeah, I probably won't be alive anymore because I'm going to keep screwing up. But there we go. I'm going to correct those, so we should see a bit more movement here. And I'm always trying to get better. I don't want people to watch the channel and learn how to play the game wrong, so I do apologize for that. But all right, see anything else, please let me know, and I'll continue to try to improve, and I hope this is a good battle to watch. All right, guys, enjoy. All right, let's do a force morale roll. Both sides will get a +1 to this. Not surprisingly, the Confederates are feeling a little bit invincible after their string of victories thus far in the Bluegrass campaign. They got an 11, and the Union not too bad. They got a 10, so they believe in their they'll triumph in the end, even if they keep getting their butts kicked. All right, the game deck. I'd say the Infamy deck, but that's a different game. It's been built. Got taken out 1 flag for each side, so they won't be in effect, but let's get going. Little blue flag action to start it off. Oh, that was quick. No points are captured, nothing can happen. Thanks for watching the game. First turn done. There we go. Nicholas Turpin leads in his group of 6 Confederate skirmishers on the eastern half of the battlefield. Comes in 12 inches, gets an extra 6 inches because nobody else is on the battlefield. No one could see him. We got a little red flag action. Oh, more Confederate skirmishers. On the western edge of the battlefield, Second Lieutenant Jeremy Franco leads another unit of Confederate skirmishers into the battlefield. Just into those woods over there, near one of the farmhouses on this end of the battlefield. Leader 8 for the Union is First Lieutenant Joseph Markey, a level 2 leader with 2 9-pound Parrott artillery pieces. On the battlefield, has to come in on the deployment point. And he's just setting up there. He's on the eastern half of the western half of the battlefield, kind of using this farmhouse as a shield. I had some second thoughts about their deployment. Hill right there was blocking half their firepower. They're not shielded as well to their right, but they do have a good field of fire onto like the intersection and several other things. Confederates again, red leader 3. All right, love it when new units get on the battlefield. Captain Cassagna leads his Louisiana regulars onto the battlefield. He's over here on the west side of the battlefield. No one could see him, so he got the extra 6 inches. He's 12 inches in. And he's ready to do battle. Inline formation. Heck yeah, here we go. Love it. How can you not like miniature wargaming? Freaking best thing ever. Alright, another red flag. They got 2 so far. Union picks up a flag, finally. They get a second one. Oh, hang on, was that 3 in a row? Nervous moment here for the newly promoted Captain Cassagna. Random movement event for the Louisiana regulars. Oh, it's my volley leg, baby. He's twist his ankle. Probably in a mole hole. That's a big problem here in Kentucky. Stupid moles. They're in my backyard. I can't. Oh. Treated for grubs, though. They're kind of moving off towards my neighbor's yard. So, sorry about that, neighbors. Yeah, so he's got 1 pip per movement for the rest of the game. There is no physic or doctor involved here. So, that injury will persist throughout this battle of Junction City. They got 3. All kinds of flags. We're gonna get another poor random event again for yeah. Yeah, they get the 4 blue flags, so the Union will be able to pull move an extra guy here. Make way. The boys from Louisiana have got some heard some scuttlebutt that there's some bourbon in some of these farmhouses. After Cassagna stumbles into the mole hole, he gets knocked down by his own guys and trampled. So next activation, he's just going to be standing up. Captain Allen brings in his 3 groups of 8 Union infantry onto the battlefield. Could engage that skirmish unit, but probably not the best use of his first fire. They got us 6 inches from the deployment because the skirmishers were staring at him. But the Union now has a presence over here on this side of the battlefield, and that was all possible because of using the 4 flags the Union had. Oh, there we go. Captain Allen's going to order his guys forward with 1 command, and the other part of that will be to present. So, it's definitely going to make Turpin's skirmishers a little nervous. They only advanced 2 inches, but now they are got their guns all up, ready to go. They're presented. Red 4. I think that is the Zouaves. First Lieutenant Keith Masters leads his unit of 2 groups of 8 Confederate Zouaves from Florida onto the battlefield. They move in 9 inches from the side of the board. They can see the command of Captain Allen. They're going to go ahead and present and fire or be unloaded. So first fire with light infantry at long range. 18 shots blasting away, presented, first fire, light infantry. They'll be needing 3s to hit Allen's boys. "12 hits in the open to Captain Allen's command, 3 per group. And no, I can't do math. 4 per group, that's my boy. Waking that brain up. Get a collective groan from those Union troops. 4 killed, 5 shock. No chance hit the leader because his group only took the 4 shock. Oof. Opening up some gaps. Little blue 7 action. Second Lieutenant Ethan Jones leads his guys in behind his trees to cover his approach. Gets to go 18 inches. They get into these trees and then start supporting Captain Allen. Red Leader 5. Second Lieutenant Jordan Salih, level 1 leader, deploys 18 inches using the church to cover his approach. Moving in to hopefully occupy that and get a bonus for their bonus to the force morale in a couple turns. Probably start laying fire down on the artillery too if he can. Uh-oh. He has arrived. Colonel Clarence Hatfield. Colonel Hatfield, being the gentleman that he is, leads the Citadel graduating class of 1861 South Carolina boys onto the battlefield right in the center. He could still be seen by Allen's boys, so he only got the small deployment, but he has arrived. All right, that's 4 red flags. Confederates are going to use those. Probably not the best use of their time, but just to get it over with, they went ahead and got Captain Cassagna back up again. So he's got his bally leg, but he is no longer getting stomped into the dirt. Another blue flag for the Union. Another red flag. That's 3 in a row. That wasn't a movement for the Union, but it would be, I don't know if deployment counts. Yes, it does. We'll do a random event for Colonel Hatfield. Movement. Sergeant, tell the men to sing. They get a bonus to move if they were in column. Those boys are not in column, so that's a negative. No effect. Union skirmisher, I believe, Blue Leader 5. Second Lieutenant Daniel Potter deploys his skirmishers just outside of this farm. Gonna hopefully put some fire on Cassagna's boys as they struggle through the trees. Second blue flag. All right, he's arrived. This is a good turn for, I usually get the, well, yeah, it's a good turn. Colonel William Alexander Pierce moves into the center of the battlefield to counter Colonel Hatfield. He could see a couple guys. I mean, if you get down nice and low, these kind of the break in the hills. Trying to get my focus to work. The groups on the side couldn't be visible, so not worth wasting his first fire. They'll march forward, and this ain't no sniper unit. They're gonna get up there and blast away. That is the Union Zouaves. Union Zouaves enter the battlefield just to the, on the, I guess that's the western side, shielding the Union artillery a little bit so they can't get picked off as easy. Going in to mess up the boys from Louisiana. They're struggling mightily back there in those trees. That's 3 blue flags. Ooh, I think it's the Confederate artillery. First Lieutenant Matthew Jonathan Matthew Johnson comes in, and he's going to go ahead and present and fire and be double unloaded. His target will be the Union artillery. So we're going to have ourselves an artillery duel right out of the gate. So this will be a first fire presented. I got to measure the range out. They're going to be bringing it long range, hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s in the open. 28 shots. Holy cow. They underperformed a little bit. 13 hits. 7 on the group with the marquee in it to the right here, and then 6 on the group to the left. Eight shock and 2 dead. The gun crew on the left does abandon their gun and fall back an inch. They're right on the edge of glory there, about to leave the battlefield. The commander's got to do something special there to pull some shock. They get hammered. They're still in the game though. I think that's an involuntary withdrawal, so we'll see a bad thing. Union will fall back to a 9 force morale. Oh, there he is. The hero of most of the other battles. Just couldn't quite pull it out. Major James Kirk leads his 3 groups of 8 Union infantry onto the battlefield over here on the west side. All the big units for the Union are now present on the battlefield. Second red flag. Tempest Fugit, or the Tiffin as we like to call it. It's really really only the deployment turn, so no one can do anything really exciting here because the first turn was such a dud. But the great would have been a great first turn if it wasn't the second turn, right? We'll do a flyby of the battlefield so you can kind of get acquainted to what's going on. I'll start over here in the southwest corner. Got some Confederate skirmishers moving into the woods. The boys from Louisiana have been having some issues between tripping in moleholes and stomping on their commander. Got some Confederate skirmishers moving towards the church. Confederate commanders on the battlefield. Colonel Hatfield in the center. As we move towards the center of the battlefield, South Central. Yeah, South Central, represent. Just kidding. Confederate artillery come onto the battlefield. Had a pretty good shot at the Union artillery and temporarily put them out of commission. Over here we've got the boys from Florida under First Lieutenant Keith Masters. Fired a nice little barrage into Captain Allen's boys and kind of put a hurting on them. So just in front of them are some more skirmishers for the Confederacy as we move on to the moving to the northeast section of the battlefield. We got Union skirmishers moving to the trees. Captain Allen screaming at his boys, trying to restore order, trying to figure out what the heck happened to his 4 of his guys. A little bit of an open spot here for the Union. Opportunity to put maybe they still have 1 skirmish group that hasn't deployed yet. That's all they really have left. Colonel Pierce has actually arrived early, which usually he doesn't show up till like turn 5. He taking advantage of the all-you-can-eat buffet at TGI Fridays. Union artillery in trouble, deployed early, no targets when they got wailed on. Union skirmishers, Zouaves are on the battlefield trying to help cover those artillery. And as we move towards the northwest part of the battlefield, you've got Union skirmishers moving into that farm. And then Major Kirk bringing on his 3 groups of 8. Going to try to do a flank move here. Take advantage of all the bad things that have happened to the boys from Louisiana. All right, next turn. Starting off with a little blue flag action. Red flag action. Oh, okay. Union artillery trying to get themselves back in the game here. He's a level 2 leader, so he uses 1 command to pull a shock on that second gun crew. Uses a flag to pull another shock, getting them down to 3. And then he's still got 1 order left, which he gets them to move onto the guns and then fire. They can't present, but they can fire and be double unloaded. It'll be their first fire. 24 shots directed at the the Confederate artillery, hitting on 5s and 6s, and they'll be double unloaded. Confederate guns get 9 hits. They'll do 5 with the group with Jonathan Matthew Johnson. Take a 4 shock and 1 dead over there by the Union artillery. Second red flag. Blue leader 4. First Lieutenant Morgan's going to do 1 movement to move forward, and they'll take their free move as light infantry. And they'll use their second unit to, or second order to fire at the Confederates. They will get light cover, but it'll be a first fire, and they'll get the +1 for being for light infantry. 18 shots, hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s in light cover. Actually, the center unit will not be in light cover. They'll be in the open. Union Zouaves pumped 15 shots into the boys from Louisiana, split over 3 groups. Three of those soldiers are killed. They've got and 4 shock are accumulated. Ooh, nice barrage from that Zouaves. Uh-oh. They're gonna spend both their actions to reload. He also spent his other command and 1 of the flags to pull 2 shock off that outside group. So his force is down to 1 shock on both groups, with 1 man missing, and they're reloaded now. Oh, it's a Cassagne? No, it's the that's First Lieutenant Keith Masters in the Floridian as Zouaves. They're going to move forward, get their extra move forward, because they're light infantry. They're going to reload and fire again. Continue to advance here. The unit on their far left of that Union infantry unit will have light cover. The other units will be in the open. 18 shots. I'll get the range here and get you the numbers. They move into medium range, hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s now. 18 shots. They definitely left the door open, just 7 hits. They'll put the extra hit here in the center group. Some terrible shooting, just 1 shock on the center group with all that. Oh, let's see if the Union can make them pay for that screw up. All right, 3rd red flag for the Confederates. Union's got none right now. Actually, I'm going to take that back. They did spend 1 flag. They're down to 2. Then we get a skirmish group for the Confederates, red 7. I forgot they spent 1 to pull shock on the artillery. That's Franco's boys. They're going to advance the and take a pop shot if they can at the Major Kirk's unit over there coming towards them. Actually, not a bad move. You know, they only went 3 inches. The edge of the woods, firing at long range, hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s with their first fire. They'll be unloaded. The group on the far left will get light cover. Franco's boys continuing the Confederate little struggle this turn with their marksmanship. Center group and the right group both will take a hit here in the open. Well, the 2 boys that could shoot actually could shoot real well. We get a kill on the center group and the right group. On a 1, it'll be Major Kirk taking a round. So no shock, and they'll have both of those groups will lose 1 man. Oh, that's the Louisiana boys. See what they can do to redeem themselves. Captain Cassagne. All right, Captain Cassagne will pull. We'll use 2 of his commands and 2 flags to pull all the 4 shock his group has. Then he'll use his last command to present and fire at the Zouaves, and they will be unloaded. 24 shots hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s. The group on the left of the Zouaves will have light cover. Actually, I think they both will. One will be halfway behind a tree, and one will be behind the side of a hill. So, light cover for the Zouaves. "12 hits in light cover." Holy cow, those guys are itching for payback. 4 dead on the group on the right, so First Lieutenant Morgan's got to be ducking and weaving here. He's going to take a bullet on a 1 through 4. And then they took 2 shock. And then this group on the left takes 1 dead and 3 shock. So let's roll the 1, 2, or 3, or 4, and I wish it was Captain Morgan. I need to promote him. Oh, he pulls a guy in front of him, takes the round. So 4 of these Zouaves in this group are killed. They'll be down to like half strength. And then the other group loses a man. Holy cow, they got rocked. Great shooting by the Cassagnes boys. All Confederates so far. That's Major Masters. He's not entered the battlefield yet, so he will come on 6 inches. The forces of the Confederacy, they're going to try a center assault. They're bringing both their heavy big units right down the center. See if the Union can stop them. Of course, the artillery might be fun. Blue 5. Potter's boys are going to try to go over that wall and move into the farm and occupy. So Potter's boys move into the courtyard, basically, of that farm. They don't have enough points to get inside the building, but they do cross over the fence, and they do occupy the building, so they will get... Right now they are in possession of that. I flicked that blue dice over to a 6 just to let me know that right now they're getting a bonus. But anyone else, any Confederate troops can get within a foot of that, they'll contest it. Red flag. Blue flag. Another blue flag. We got a random movement event for Potter's boys, I believe. Where's that map? They're not in columns, so they are not confused to where they are. Potter will take those 2 open Union flags and use sharp practice and do his first fire into the boys from Louisiana. 7 shots hitting on 3, 4, 5s, and 6s. Very nice shooting by Potter's boys. 6 hits, 2 per group. They will be unloaded after this. One shock for all 3 groups. So they're all not bad. Every drop counts, right? Red 6. Turpin's boys will move forward 2d6 and most likely shoot across over to here. Let's see where they end up. We'll advance 7 inches, take their first fire, hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s. Actually, 3, 4, 5s, and 6s. Six hits. 2 groups on the right are in the open. Group on the left's in light cover. Group on the right has 5 shot. Group in the center has only 1, but they've got 3 guys blown away now. We've lost 2 on the left. They're up to 2 shock. Captain Allen doing his usual present, and then everybody shoots at him. He's hoping to get some rounds off here. Little blue flag action, that's always helpful. Second blue flag. Oh, could I get some random shooting? Oh, well, that is Captain Allen gonna redeem himself. He'll be spending those flags to try to get this party started. So he's gonna go offensive a little bit here. He pulled 2 shock off this group. He is presented. They're gonna fire and reload and fire straight ahead and hit all those groups over there. They'll get the Zouaves and the skirmish group. But they're gonna use the 2 flags to fire a crashing volley. 20 shots hitting on 3, 4, 5s, and 6s. "13 hits. These guys are in light cover. Those guys on the right are in light cover. And they're in the open, so they're taking all the hits. So first up, this skirmish group will take 2 kills, and then they'll double the shock to 2. A roll of 1, their leaders hit. Turpin takes a round. Let's see how bad he takes. Let's see if he survives. Turpin is killed. Another one of his troopers is killed. They're up to 2 shock. We'll do that replacement thing if he comes back. If it's when his card piles up again. Oh, oof. That'll be a bad thing for a level 1 leader killed. Nicholas Turpin's a nice enough guy, but they don't really give a crap that he just got wasted. So no force morale effect. Group on the right loses a guy, doubles their shock to 6. Thank you, that's nice. And then these guys just lose a guy over here on the left. So not too bad a shooting for Allen's command there. They kind of reel back the Confederacy a little bit on their right flank. Second red flag. I'm gonna debate here, hang on. I'm gonna use those 2 for sharp practice and reload this group over here in the woods. They're going to be getting ready to storm that farm here in a minute. Oh yes. Major Kirk. He will advance his command forward and see where he ends up. Will advance forward 3 inches and unload into the skirmish group that will be in hard cover with their first fire. They are at effective range. First fire hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s. 27 shots. "14 hits in hard cover, hit that skirmish group. Only 2 kills. On a 1, it's the leader. 2 of the skirmishers are killed. And these guys will be unloaded. Oh, that's the MVP of the channel, Doug Carmichael, finally showing up. Way to be there, Doug. He's on Pacific time. Doug moves on to the battlefield behind the trees there. All right, so all the troops are deployed now. No one is off table. And Tiffin, fantastic. And the turn ends up with a pretty fully engaged down. You know, it's a pretty awesome firefight we got going on over here in the west side. Got to think about my compass directions there. We got skirmishers taking rounds. Boys from Louisiana exchanging rounds with the Zouaves. So they might have got the best of that. The Union will gain a 1 point back for their force morale as they occupy that farm there. So they're going to be back up to 10. So it'll be the Confederacy 11, Union 10. Back where we started. Got Confederate troops just kind of, they didn't move. Skirmishers possibly going towards the church. Colonel Colonel Hatfield has basically shown his hand. He's going to go for a main center assault in Napoleonic style. He's going to redo the picket's charge. Artillery continues to blast. Confederates are reloaded now. Union still double unloaded, still packing a little bit of shock. And then these guys are exchanging rounds and hammering away on each other. We did have our first crashing volley of the battle, which they're always a blast, over here on the east side. Union skirmishers didn't get to move that turn. Captain Allen's boys got the redemption with the crashing volley, killing Second Lieutenant Nicholas Turpin, putting a round right through his chest. He's out. Doug Carmichael, thanks for showing up, brother. Always appreciated. Colonel Pierce doing his normal thing, kind of just hanging out, not really taking part in the battle yet. Looking for an opportune time, but he is facing off against two full Confederate groups, or formations, excuse me. Zouaves got pounded like usual. I think they, a couple battles ago, they got hammered too, so doing their thing. We got the occupation going on there, and then we always know that Major Kirk is going to be taking care of business. He's going to try to secure this right flank for the Union. All right, starting off with a little Red Leader 7 action. It's Jeremy Franco, got ate up by a couple rounds there from those guys. Lost two guys. He's going to try to shift to his right to put pressure on the farmhouse and then fire across and be unloaded. So they move across to contest close enough to the farm, so that'll take away the Union's free point there, and they'll fire 5 shots at Major Kirk's unit at medium range. I guess effective is the correct term there, effective range. Let's get into battle tech a little there. Sorry about that. They score 3 hits on Kirk's guys. Let's see how much damage they take. Outside groups both take 1 shock. Oh, and the center group, sorry. Ooh. Blue Leader 3. Captain Gregory Allen, he will pull 2 shock on this far right group, reducing them down to 1 shock. Then he'll present and fire and be unloaded at effective range. 22 shots hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s. Ten hits split between 3 groups. The extra hit is going to go on to Keith Masters' group there, left side of the Zouaves from Florida. The 2 outside groups are both in light cover. Not the most effective shooting, only putting 3 shock on the Zouaves. Nothing to the skirmishers to the right. The big thing is this Zouave group to the right is at 8 shock with 8 guys. Thankfully, First Lieutenant Keith Masters is with that group, so that's keeping them from breaking back. Blue 7, it's one of the skirmish groups for the Union. Second Lieutenant Ethan Jones going to move forward, fire, and be unloaded. The hill blocks their visibility of the skirmish group to the left, so they can just fire into the open against the Zouaves. Skirmishers first fire at effective range. That's 3, 4, 5s, and 6s. 7 shots. Lots of 2s from those boys. Not so good. Only 3 hits. Split between those 2 groups. The extra one will go on to Lieutenant's group. Pretty embarrassing shooting, but they do get the 9th point of shock on that group, forcing them back 1 inch, which will cause a bad thing. Confederate forces consider that a minor thing, so they have no effect with that. Oh, there's a big one. Yes. Major Kevin Masters is going to run his guys. So 3d6 going straight ahead. They'll probably block off the artillery from shooting, but they need to get up there and start doing the rebel thing. Pretty good move as they lunge forward towards the intersection. He's able to pull 2 of the shocks from the outside groups, so they don't pick anything up for running. The center group will pick up 1 shock. Boop. And he is at 6 inches within that intersection, so that is going to flick the crossroads over to those guys' objectives, because they're going to be held by the Confederacy this turn. Blue 4, that's the Union Zouaves, what's left of them. They got hammered. First Lieutenant Morgan pulls a shock from that far group. They're going to advance into the trees and try to take a shot. I know, I forgot that unit was unloaded, so they go into the trees, getting cover there, and they are reloading, no firing this turn. First flag of the turn. I was getting wonders, like, what's going on here? Another skirmish unit, red 5. Jordan Slee's boys are going to try to cross over this wall and see where they're at. They're going to roll 2d6, and they'll have to take away the lowest dice crossing an obstacle. They cross over that wall into the courtyard of the church. They secure the objective for the rebels for the time being, so they'll get an extra point there. They're not quite, if you draw that imaginary line across the front of the Union, they're not quite in the flank, but they will fire and be unloaded. What's that? 7 shots. I'll get the range here. 7 shots, first fire. Close range, hitting on 3, 4, 5s, and 6s into light cover. Actually, that wall, the Zouaves are closer to the wall than them, so it's going to be hard cover. Nice. Six hits on the Zouaves, 3 in each group, in hard cover. Get a shock on that group, and they get a kill over here, so it's a 1 in 6 chance that First Lieutenant Morgan takes a round. These Zouaves are in trouble. This group on the right's down to 3 guys, plus the officer. Group on the left has got 3 shock. Blue 4. Red 4. Colorblind Steve. He's going to use 1 command to reform the unit and reload. That'll be his 2, so it'll be kind of a move and reload. And then his second command will be to pull a shock on the group to the right, and he will use a flag to pull a second shock. They'll go down to 7, they'll be reloaded, and hoping for a sharp practice. And there they are. Oh, first red flag because they used 1 there. Could have used that one to pull more shock. There's 2 in a row. And then we get a red leader 6. That's Nicholas Turpin's a skirmish over your unit. He's dead, of course. So on a roll of 5 or 6, somebody will step up and be the new level 0 leader. Get some. All right, one of the corporals grabbed the dead uniform of the officer off Turpin's body, put it on, level 0 leader. He's got some cards to work with. Let's see what he can do. All right, he's going to use the 2 flags to pull 1 shock and use the other flag to Let's think about this. He's going to reload and move into the woods. They're into the trees. They've got one shot. They're reloaded. They're no longer assisting the Zouaves over here, but they're in hard cover now. Another red flag. I haven't seen a single blue flag yet. I gotta work on my shuffling. Oh, look at that. Talk about it, and here it comes. Oh, yes. Confrontation in the center. I like it. Colonel Pierce is gonna run his guys, 3d6. They can do that and pull all the shot because he's a level 4 leader. They're going to move obliquely behind those trees. They want to leave the firing lane for their artillery to the last minute. Preserving the shooting for the artillery. Colonel Pierce moves up. Got the shielding his troops with the trees. And kind of picking up the support of these skirmishers over here. Might grab him for a skirmish screen next turn. We'll see. Another blue flag. Oh, okay, there we go. Major James Kirk, or Jameson Kirk, excuse me. He'll probably advance and do something cool. He is going to advance, present, and fire a crashing volley into this skirmish group, trying to wipe them out of existence. I've got to pay more attention to my unloaded things when I do these grandiose plans. So they're not going to present, they're just going to reload, fire, and be unloaded, but it is going to be a crashing volley at effective range. With him being a level 3 leader, he also pulled the 2 shock they had. 25 shots hitting on 5s and 6s? Eight hits in light cover, doubling shock. Four dead, 6 shock. This is going to go horribly wrong for these guys. On a 1 through a 4, it's their leader. Second Lieutenant Jeremy Franco takes a round for one of his boys. That unit is crushed down to 1 skirmisher plus the leader, who is now a level 0 leader after he takes his first wound, which will break the unit because they have 6 shock. So they are going to start falling back the prescribed amount of inches, which we'll roll here. They are broken by that blistering fire. So they have 6 shock, a wounded leader, and they're unloaded, and they just ran 15 inches back this, or 14 inches back this direction. Before they were blasted, they were also contesting the farm, so that goes back to Union control. Major Kirk clears away the Secesh, excuse me. I was trying to laugh and speak at the same time, and then you get a lisp going on and a stutter and a God knows what else. On the side of those trees, they got the Louisiana boys. If hopefully they can hold up against the big blue wave. He's going to start his march to the sea. We'll have bad things for group breaks, and we'll also have a bad thing for level 1 leader wounded. Confederates continue to roll well to resist any kind of force morale drop, but they will drop down to 10 here. Another blue flag action. Red flag action. Blue leader 5. That's Potter's boys. They're going to reload and move into the farm to occupy it. Second Lieutenant Potter has occupied the farmhouse. He's got a man in every top window, and then he's got all 3 bottom windows covered too. And they are reloaded. Second blue flag. Oh, yes. He's going to run his troops towards the church. Colonel Hatfield advances his boys into right to the edge of the trees, to the left of his compadre, Major Masters. So the Confederates are kind of still in the center here, threatening both directions. 3 blue flags. Oh, 4 blue flags. Oh yeah, I'm reloading these artillery pieces. The artillery has been double reloaded, and he'll also pull a shock. All right. Oh, and they get to go again? Are you kidding me? Oh, sweet. All right, the big question is pull a shock or no? Present and fire, be double unloaded, and we'll lose 2 firepower with shock. Oh, he still have what? He's a level 2 leader, so he have 1 command left, so he can pull that 3 shock down to 2. Target is 42 inches away in light cover, thanks to the snake rail fences. Presented, so this is going to be 4, 5s, and 6s to hit. Oh, but the artillery will lower it down to light cover. I mean to no cover. Oh, sorry about your luck. They rolled a ton of 3s. Too bad they couldn't get another bonus out of that. Sorry about your luck. 10 hits, 3 on each outside group, 4 in the center. Didn't quite have the range there. Only 6 shock. Confederates can deal with that. The Tempest Fugit. Confederates have 2 flags here. Their artillery will move forward. The boys from Louisiana will wheel forward into the trees and reload. And that ends the turn. Got a broken skirmish formation here running off the table. Union has secured that. We will have some force morale shifts, of course, here because of the Confederates controlling this objective, the Union controlling that objective. At the end of the turn, both sides will have a force morale of 11. And I'm happy with that roll so far, but we'll see how that goes throughout the game. All right, next turn. Oh, starting on to the Colonel William Alexander Pierce. Nice. All right, after the artillery dud, he is going to try to run obliquely and see how far we can get here. Advances into behind that wall there, into the church. I don't even know what that's even called. Plaza? Who knows? Garden? Yard? And they're on that wall. They do have... There's a Confederate skirmish force to their right, which would have a flank shot them, so they've definitely got to do something. But they are behind the wall, facing off against the 2 Confederate big line groups here. So, but no shock with the run. It was a heck of a good run. Awesome dice rolling. And yeah, there we are. Little red flag action. Blue flag action. Oh, artillery. Artillery double reloads, and they pull a shock with their extra command. Blue 4. All right, First Lieutenant Morgan is basically going to run. So he's going to double move there. They're going to sprint, so it'll be an extra move. He's going to use second command to pull 1 shock. He's going to use one of the flag the blue Union has right now, also pull a shock. Then he'll pick up, each group will pick up a shock at the end of the running. And they will have to cross that barrier to get there. that monster run or ends up turning into a charge, these guys are going to use their evade to try to get the heck out of dodge. I think they're going to have to take the charge. If they try to evade, they'll lose a dice going over the wall. They might not even make it over the wall. And they might get hit from behind. So we're going to go for hand-to-hand. So we got a hand-to-hand unit, a skirmish group versus a Zouave infantry group. This is going to be different. Skirmishers, unfortunately for them, are unloaded. Well, the dice aren't as bad as I thought it was going to be because of the one group of Zouaves is at 50%. Okay, here we go. Fighting in the courtyard. They're going at it. Zouaves came in there with a lot of hate. They got 4 kills and 5 shock versus the Confederates attacking back with 1 kill and 1 shock. We'll see if the leaders are hit. The Confederates will be pushed back and they'll take additional shock no matter what. What's left will be thrown back 12 inches facing away from the enemy with an additional 3 shock. On a 1, 2, 3, or 4, Jordan Salee is hit for the Confederates, and on a 1, First Lieutenant Morgan is hit. Second Lieutenant Salee takes a bayonet. Let's see how bad he's hurt. Men flee in terror after being defeated. They have 3 guys with 7 shock. Salee is knocked down. They wouldn't have time to carry him. He is captured. A level 1 leader captured, and his unit will flee off the battlefield. We'll get some bad things for a unit defeated in fisticuffs and a level 1 leader killed or captured. And they're going to lock him up in the church tower, where he'll spend the rest of the war. Confederacy will drop down 3 force morale. With that, down to an 8. Union Zouaves lose a guy from this formation and go up 2 points of shock on this group to the right. Pretty bloody battle so far. Both sides losing men left and right. With that, the Union will take control of the church compound, and it's looking good right this moment until Colonel Hatfield comes through those trees. Red 7. That's Jeremy Franco's unit. He's going to peel off and assist, become basically an adjutant for Captain Cassagne. His 1 remaining skirmisher will break from the battlefield and head back to Tennessee. Second red flag. Blue leader 6. Carmichael's skirmisher is going to try to move to the trees, start getting some pop shots on these Confederate troops on the intersection. Doug's guys move up to the edge of the woods, fire through at Major Master's line unit. They're at effective range. First fire, hitting on 7 shots, hitting on 3, 4, 5s, and 6s. And they will be unloaded after this. You get 6 hits spread over the 3 groups. The Confederates will get light cover from these fences. The skirmishers are also contesting the crossroads, so the Confederates no longer get those points at the end of the turn. Group on the left gets 1 shock. They're up to 2, so now they've got 2, 3, 3 across, and they lose a guy on the group on the right. Third red flag. Uh-oh. Red 3. Captain Greg Allen. He will advance and reload. They end up moving forward. He ends up pulling 2 shock, and they are reloaded. And that's what they've done. Red Leader 4. First Lieutenant Masters used 1 command plus 3 flags to pull 4 shock from this group on the right, getting them down to 3. And he's got 1 on the group on the left. He's going to advance, so he'll get 2d6 because he's light infantry, and then they're going to open fire. They will be unloaded. They'll lose 2 firepower, 1 firepower because of the shock. They went forward 6 inches after losing 4. Boom, here we go. 15 shots hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s. They'll be hitting all these groups. Seven hits, 2 on each of these groups, the 3 groups in front of them in the open, and then 1 on the skirmishers in hard cover. Holy crap, a lot of their shots missed, but they come back with the ones they did get were freaking brutal. I think 4 kills, 3 shocks spread out over these groups. So these guys lose 4 guys total. You got 3 shock in this group to the right, which is intact. The center group's down to 3 gentlemen. And the far left group's got 2 shock with 4 guys. Or 5 guys, excuse me. And then the skirmish group is down to 5 skirmishers and 1 officer. Uh-oh, Confederate artillery. They don't have a shot. They're going to continue to move forward. And their first lieutenant will pull 1 shot. They push up behind Major Master's command, itching for them to get out of the way. Red Leader 3, that's Cassagna. He's going to move obliquely to the right. He's going to pull 2 shock and see if he can shoot here. We'll fire a flank shot into hard cover, trying to go after the Zouaves. 24 shots from the middle of the unit. It's just outside of close range into hard cover. They definitely underperformed. Just 6 hits. Double shock to 5. They have 6 guys there in that group. They lose a guy, but they have 3 shock and 1 and only 3 guys, so they're close to breaking over here. A little red flag action. Blue Leader 7. Ethan Jones will reload and fire and be unloaded. He'll fire on the well, actually it'll pick up both units here, so he's going to hit. It's going to spread across 3 groups, hitting on 3, 4, 5s, and 6s. 6 shots. Hits everything. All 3 groups both get 2 hits. The skirmishers will be in hard cover. Just 2 shock. Both of them, of course, hit the shock magnet team. These guys have been getting hit the entire game with shock. They're back up to 5 again. So blue flag action. Uh-oh. The big dog. Colonel Hatfield's going to advance through the trees and engage Colonel William Alexander Pierce's guys for supremacy of the church. Colonel Hatfield's troops advance out of the woods. The tree line, I guess, is a better way to put it. Fire a blistering first fire into the courtyard where Colonel William Alexander Pierce's formation is entrenched behind this stone wall. Oh, this is going to be fun. They're gonna hit on 3, 4, 5s, and 6s. All the shots. What is that? 24, 28 shots with a level 4 leader. "22 shots hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s. Stone wall helps a ton. 3 dead, 3 shock. The group with the Colonel takes 2 hits, so it's a 1 in 6 chance the Colonel's hit. So they got 2 shock on the group on the right, 1 shock there, 1 shock there, and they've lost their casualties. Oh, second blue flag. Got 2 for the Union and 1 for the Rebels. 3 blue flags for the Union. Oh. Major Keith Masters. He's going to advance, pull 2 shock. Well, pull 2 shock first, advance, and then fire. There's actually no point in advancing because he's going to have 6 shock at the end of that. So he's going to present and fire and be unloaded. 26 firing shots firing straight ahead into this skirmish group in the woods. They'll be in hard cover. But yeah, it's going to suck. 3, 4, 5s, and 6s. I feel like they big time underperformed. Lots of 1s and 2s there. 12 hits in hard cover. Three kills and 3 shocks on a 1, 2, or 3. The second lieutenant gets a round. Half his troops are killed. He's got 3 shock. He's unloaded. He's still in the trees. Can't take on a barrage like that. 2 red flags. I'm gonna go ahead and sharp practice and reload the Zouaves over here. Oh, 4th blue flag. That's going to go right back to the Colonel William Alexander Pierce. Going to take those 4 and unload. He's going to pull 3 shock, present, fire, be unloaded. These guys are taking care of business here at the church. Union blasting back, answering the barrage by the Confederates. 25 shots. First fire presented. Oh, into light cover. Anything but will hit. "20 hits in light cover. Oh, let's see what happens. They rock him with 3 kills and 7 shock. Oh, this is going to be a battle of ages. These guys hammer away at each other. Uh-oh. Major Kirk. He's going to run them and pull 2 shock. Stay unloaded. They run forward 15 inches. They're advancing on the flank of the boys from Louisiana. All right, they got 1 shock in the group in the center. There's the Tempest Fugit slash artist formerly known as Tiffin. The rebels don't have control of any objectives right now, so they are at an 8. The Union will stay maxed out at 11. It's getting kind of sketchy. Union getting ready to turn the flank on the rebels on the Confederate left. Zouaves getting ready to buckle in the courtyard of the church, and we've got this slaughter fest going on over here. Oh yeah, Union and Confederates just 20 feet away from each other, blasting like there's no tomorrow. I don't know, that's going to be a battle of all ages. Major Kevin Masters' unit near the intersection, just hammering away on this skirmish group. That's 50% of the units wiped out. They're in trouble. Artillery's moving up, screaming at the major to get his troops out of the way so they can get a firing solution. Zouaves out here on from Florida, out here on the right flank for the Confederates with this skirmish group, kind of holding down the world against Union skirmishers and Captain Greg Allen's troops. A lot of casualties. It's been a pretty brutal affair. Just the view from the other side. Union guns need to get active just like the Confederate guns. Oh, and I forgot we got Union skirmishers holding the farmhouse inside. Probably not a lot of targets anymore. They can probably still fire at the rebels from Louisiana. That's about it. Those Zouaves need to just like get inside the church or something. All right, here we go. Oh, let's start off with a blue flag. Red 6. Well, let's got to do a double take on that. That's the corporal formerly known as Turpin. He has a level 0. There are no flags available, so he is just going to sit there. Blue 7. Second Lieutenant Ethan Jones's skirmish group. They're going to reload and fire and be unloaded again, hitting the 2 Zouave units and the skirmishers to their left. 6 shots coming out of the trees, hitting on 4, 5, and 6. Holy cow, did you see that shooting? That was atrocious. They looked like they stuck their bayonets into the ground and then pulled the trigger. Red flag action. 2 red flags. Oh! Union artillery. First Lieutenant Jonathan Matthew Johnson. Ricky Bobby of the Civil War. He used his other order to pull a shock. Used a flag to pull the second shock. So now he's just got 1 shock, and now he's just going to run as far as they can. Well, if those 4 cards come up, they are far enough to the left that they could open fire on Major Master's unit. Red 3. Oh, that's Captain Greg Allen, my boy. Alright, he's going to pull 2 shock off the group on the right. He is going to present. He's going to fire. He's going to be unloaded. They can't see the skirmishers, so they're just going to hit the Zouaves. 18 shots hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s. Nine hits hitting on hitting in the open. The extra one will be on the group on the left with First Lieutenant Keith Masters. Holy crap, great shooting. 4 kills and 4 shock. Masters group has only got a 1 in 6 chance of it hitting him. Oh, he takes it like a boss. Let's see what kind of wound he gets. First Lieutenant Keith Masters knocked unconscious for the time being. His group on our left has 8 shock now. He doesn't count in that accumulation anymore, so they fall back an inch. This group loses 3 guys. They have 2 shock with 4 guys left. So I have 2 bad things. Wounded and basically a group falling back. Was he wounded? It was just, I can't remember if he's knocked out counts as a wound. Well, I'm probably wrong, but I'm going to stick with since he's not being captured. He's just sitting right there, and he's not wounded, he's just knocked out. So, it's a medical diagnosis. they do drop down to a 7 with the group obliged to withdraw. Blue lead 4. Oh, it's the Union Zouaves. They're going to run away from these guys so their shock does not hamper them. They're going to head back that direction. Well, that was a good enough move. They were able to get to that door of the church. They do pick up 1 extra shock on one of their groups. They have 5 on the group on the far side of the church and 4 on this side. So they're inside hard cover now. They're even away from the windows. Blue flag. Blue 4. Oh, they need to work. Oh, it's a chance for that leader to stand up, for First Lieutenant Masters to get up.
Get some.
Alright, he's going to rise from the dead. He's going to have this unit form up and fire, be unloaded, and he's also going to pull 1 shock. 8 shots after all the shock comes away, hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s. Only 2 hits in the open. Two shock on Captain Allen's boys. Now he's got 2 on the outside group, 1 in the center, and 2 on the right. 3rd red flag. Nice. 4th red flag. Colonel Hatfield's going to pull 3 shock and then reload and fire, be unloaded again. I technically think being not going up to windows is you're still screwed in this. Yeah, he can stay on the first floor though. Let's say the Zouaves are on the first floor. I think that was more of a chain of command rule. You don't go up to the windows. They're kind of cowering downstairs right now behind the stones. So they will not get sucked into this maelstrom of musket balls. 24 shots hitting on 4, 5s, and 6 into hard cover. They overperform and rock 15 shots into those blue bellies. Let's see how many, see how that hard cover pays off. Sure as heck does. They're only able to kill 1 guy and put 1 shock on the center group. Oh yeah. Major Kirk continue his charge through the trees. He will run. He'll pick up an extra shock. They've got 2 shock, 1 on the right group, 1 on the center group now, but they are on the flank of the boys from Louisiana. Coming out of the trees. Oh, they're still unloaded at least. These boys got to do something. Oh, gets to go again. He's going to pull 3 shock. And reload and move to the wall so the Union will no longer gain the benefit. That's some South Carolina courage now. They're right up against the Union. No one's getting the advantage of the wall. Woo! And they're loaded, where the Union is unloaded right now. Little blue 5 action. Potter's boys unload 7 shots out of the church into the Louisiana regulars at effective range, hitting 4, 5s, and 6s. They will reload and fire and be unloaded. One hit per group in light cover. They're able to put 1 shock on the group to the left. That's it. Oh, I wish he had some flags. They are going to run forward. They will try to cross over that barrier, which will lose 1 dice, the lowest one. But let's see how far they can get, and he'll pull all the shock but 1. They barely crossed the fence. They picked up one more shock. They're close enough to contest that one, and they're actually between, since they are between that crossroads and the closest Union force, they have control of the obstacles. They actually gain the crossroads. Second blue flag. Red 7. Second lieutenant serving as an adjutant with the the Louisiana regular, so he pulls a shock. All right. Oh, third blue flag. Fourth blue flag. Oh yeah. Captain Pierce, Colonel Pierce, I demoted him there. It's going to take a calculated risk here. He is going to pull both the shock he has. He's going to reload and present. Blue 6. That's Doug Carmichael's guys. They are going to reload and run backwards. Well, move quickly. They keep their shock, they fall back, reload, trying to get some distance between themselves and Major Kevin Masters regulars. Red flag. 2 red flags. Ooh. That's the boys from Louisiana. All right, he's going to pull the one shock they have. They're going to try to wheel backwards. And they reload. Blue flag. Second blue flag. Oh no. Colonel William Alexander Pierce. He'll be firing a crashing presented volley. 25 shots. Hitting on 3, 4, 5s, and 6s, doubling shock in the open. "21 hits, 7 on each group. Six dead, 16 shock. Oh, that's after being doubled. It's not going to be 32 shock. And now a roll of 1 will hit the colonel. These boys are crushed. Far group, 5 shock. Center group's got 6 shock. This group over here that only has 4 guys takes 7 shock. Falls back 3 inches. We got a group obliged to withdraw, and formation broke by fire. Minus 1 more as I go down to 6. Third blue flag, or red flag, excuse me. Oh, artillery. Can guns do crashing volleys? I need to look that up. They can't do that, but they can add extra firepower onto this. He's going to pull 1 shock. That's all he's got. They're going to present. They're going to fire. They're going to add all the flags on for extra firepower. And they're going to try to incinerate the Union guns. 29 shots hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s. "16 hits in the open. Oh gosh, good luck." On a 1 or a 2, First Lieutenant Joe Markey is nailed. This is going to be horrible. 2 guys on 1 gun with 4 shock. Other gun crew, 2 guys, 4 shock. Both are broken. The formation will be broken. Both units will be forced back. The formation will be, trashed. They'll leave the table. Level 2 leader routes off table. Units wiped out times 2. I don't even know how many bad things that is. Looks like a monument. What a blast from the Confederate guns. That was an 8-point swing to force morale. They went from 11 down to a frickin' 3. All Union is totally disheartened by the fact that they just lost their artillery. It just got blown to pieces. There's body parts everywhere. Those guys are just running. They're not stopping until they get to DC. And the last card is the Tempest Fugit. Oh, what a turn. A turn of all ages. What a swing there at the end. A force morale of 3 for the Union. Confederacy is at a 6. Who would have thought that would happen? Oh, but what happens now with the additions of the Union's going to get a couple points back. So will the Confederates. Union will get from occupying the church and that farm over there. They'll get 2 points. Actually, they shouldn't, because they should only get 1 point because the Confederacy is challenging them here at the church. So boom, both sides only get 1 back because the Confederacy controls that intersection, and both sides are contesting this farm over here. And no one is bothered to go back and get that bridge, which I probably need to send that skirmish group back there. So the Confederates end up with a 7 at the end of the turn. The Union crawls back to a 4. They do lose 1 flag for the time being. And we've got a push on the left flank that the Louisiana Regulars are trying to hold off. The Zouaves are in psychiatric treatment inside the church. They're cloistered, it's for real. The Battle of the Colonels, Colonel Alexander Pierce is whooping the crap out of Colonel Clarence Willard Hatfield III. Confederacy has taken the main crossroads as the Union falls back in front of them. Confederate artillery has won the duel as they have wiped the Union guns off the face of the planet. And then Captain Allen over here can't quite put the nail in the coffin against the Confederate Zouaves. All right, we're back, baby. Oh, even with 1 less flag, they get a blue flag first. Blue 6. That's Doug Carmichael. He's going to go ahead and pull a shock. That skirmish group of 3 gentlemen and their officers down to, I think, 2 shock now? Yeah, 2 shock. Oh, unexpected. Red flag. Oh. Confess, that's First Lieutenant Jonathan Matthew Johnson. I'll never get Matt's name right. Sorry about that, Matt. They're going to take both action to reload their antimatter cannons. Those things are devastating. What the heck is going on? They won. Well, I guess there's still plenty of flags in there. Oh, here we go, 2 in a row. We get 3. We do get 3. 1 second. We get a random firing event from Jonathan Matthew Johnson's artillery section. I just finished watching Travis's ACW battle over at Tabletop CP, and he got foul barrels on his artillery too. And these guys too. I guess they can try. It's a long run to get to water. Union's gonna hold off on those 4 flags for a minute. This is hopefully not the Tempest Fugit. Oh, snap. Alright, he's gonna go for the W. I gotta change those dice though, because they're still contested for the moment. He's gonna reload and fire another crashing volley into these Confederate troops from the Citadel's graduating class of 1861. So that'll take care of 2 of the flags the Union has right now. 25 shots hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s. Infantry in the open. overperforming with 17 hits. We put 6 on the group to the left, 6 in the center, and the 5 over here on the group to the right. These shots will be in the open, doubling shock. Pounding that Confederate line that's already in distress with 3 kills and 18 shock. So Colonel Hatfield's unit basically incinerates. He's got 2 guys here with, I think, 13 shock, and then 6 guys with 15 shock. They've already fallen back because of their shock. Now they're going to do the break moves. Their 2 units have broken. The Colonel Center group needs 1 more shock and they are toast. They'll start running too. But right now these guys are sprinting right at the artillery. And they'll do that with 2d6 plus 6 of rout movement. Unfortunately, this routing unit with 9 additional shock passes through that left gun crew, excuse me. So that'll hang an additional 9 shock on them with 5 guys. So that unit that gun crew will fall back 4 inches as well. These guys are breaking and just going this way. That gun crew falls back 4 inches, excuse me. So we'll get a bad thing for them obliged to withdraw. We'll get and then 2 bad things for 2 group breaks, and 1 formation broken. Yeah, he lost that 1 group to his left, so. So the Confederacy will drop 5 force morale points and lose 3 flags. They're down to 2. All right, another red flag. Red leader 6. That's the corporal who took over for Nicholas Turpin. He's going to lead his troops backwards towards the bridge to seize that objective. They need all the force morale points they can get. That's enough. They get back to the end of the bridge, secure the objective for the Confederacy. Oh yeah. I'm trying to think what'll be the big game changer for the Confederacy. I could fire these guys. But their shots will hit the barn and they'll hit these guys. They'll be split between 4 groups and there will be some cover involved. Colonel Hatfield's basically like combat ineffective. These guys could blast away through the trees at a skirmish group. That might be an option. Or I fire the Zouaves. But they are trashed. They've got so much shock, it's not even funny. They've got 9 shock, but 7 in one group and 2 in the other. And their fire will get split. Or I can do the artillery, which is basically in shambles right now. Oh. I want to go ahead and just go for the force morale and activate Major Kevin Masters and his Tennessee regulars. They've already fired their 1 controlled volley, so they will go uncontrolled after this blast. They will reload, fire, be unloaded. He will also pull 2 shock from that center group before they let loose. 6 shots going straight ahead in hard cover, effective range, and they will be uncontrolled after this. They blister the trees. 9 shots get through and hit the skirmishers. Let's see what kind of effect it has. They take 2 shock and a man killed. They go up to 4 shock. They involuntary withdraw 1 inch, which is a bad thing. Union drops down to a 3 and loses a flag. 3 versus a 2. They're both holding on by a freaking fingernail. See what the next card is. Oh, game changer. Oh, Major Jameson Kirk. And he's going to fire a crashing volley too. He will reload and fire. A couple of the groups will get cover, but he's going to blast straight ahead and be unloaded. Close range shot at the Confederates from Louisiana. Let's see if they can withstand this. They got an extra officer to pull shock. 25 shots hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s. They bang in 14 hits. The group on the left is in cover, light cover. A few more kills than you'd want to see when you're trying to double shock with a crashing volley, but still, 6 dead, 12 shock. That unit will be reeling. Even though they were in light cover, Cassagne's group gets hits the hardest with 4 kills. There's a 1 in 4 chance that he takes a round. Chris takes a round. Let's see how bad he's hurt. Oh, half the men they used to be. 6 shock on the left, 4 in the center, 2 on the far right. Cassagne takes a wound. Got a bad thing for that. The rest of the formation's able to withstand it, not falling back. Level 3 wounded is down to 1. They lose another flag. Confederates are thinking about Sweet Home Alabama. They've had enough of the Battle of Junction City. They've got a force morale of 1. Let's do the next card. Oh no, it's the end of the turn. Well, they will go back up to 2 because they have control of the crossroads. So they'll get that flag back, and the Union will also get 1 back as well. Ah, I like that feature. It's kind of cool. Oh, the Confederates will get 2 because they control the bridge. Turpin's replacement. MVP move. 2 flags back. So end the turn, the Confederates are at looks like a 3, and the Union is at a 4. Red flag. Blue flag. Oh, that's Captain Allen over there on the far left flank. He's going to reload and move forward. Well, how much shock do they got? Heck that. They're just going to... He's going to pull 2 shock, reload and fire and be unloaded. 21 shots at effective range at the Zouaves. Seven hits in the open on the Zouaves. The extra hit will go on to First Lieutenant Master's group. Holy crud, my dice are in fuego. 1 in 3 chance, 50-50 chance. 1, 2, and 3, and Keith is hit by a round. Three dead and 3 shock rock the Zouaves. They're down to 8 guys total, 4 in each group. They have 8 but they do have the first lieutenant over here, so they're 8 shock. They don't fall back quite yet. Oh, or do they fall? Hang on. They will fall back 3 inches, but they won't break yet. So I don't know if the Confederate force morale will survive this, and they probably don't deserve to. Group forced, obliged to withdraw, and formation broke. Both bad things. That causes a -3 force morale, taking the Confederacy to 0. That was... Sometimes you feel like these games, I mean, I'm not an expert when you're watching them, though, but when you watch them, you feel like this team had more to offer when the force morale does click off, sometimes I feel like it goes a bit early. And then sometimes it's perfect, of course. I'm just throwing things out there. But this game, yeah, I think it's very fitting because this unit is Cassagne's command from Louisiana is crushed, or getting ready to be crushed. The graduating class of 1861 from the Citadel they're just destroyed. They've got guys in 3 different counties. Matthew Johnson's artillery crew, he's got 50% of them are going out for popcorn. Very combat effective in the center with Kevin Masters, Major Masters' unit holding the crossroads, but 0 support. Kevin's brother Keith over here on the right with his Florida Zouaves is they're in total disarray. Skirmish screen over here to the right, they basically already had their officer killed and they're just kind of dragging around a uniform with a giant hole in the center of it with some dude wearing it. So Union Captain Allen finally got to do something besides just present and then just get unloaded on. You know, did a great job holding down the Union left. Good delaying action there by Doug Carmichael. Didn't get to shoot a lot. Did a couple casualties. But basically held off an entire unit by himself. Just with stalling. Did get some support from the artillery before they got wiped out. Colonel William Alexander Pierce held the center against Colonel Hatfield. Fantastic. Great fight. Just those crashing volleys really were the game changer on both flanks. And Major Jameson Kirk actually got to wrap up the right flank pretty well here for the Union with the help from some skirmishers in the farm. I think another turn would have been the end for Cassagne. He'd have been taken off. So, yeah, great battle. I love sharp practice. I'm going to paint the cavalry units. I am re-energized. Even though I feel a little bit like crap, got a little bit of a head cold, but I'm totally jacked up on Theraflu right now. Love that stuff. I don't sponsor it. I'm not getting money to say that. And yeah, sharp practice, amazing. Might leave the map the same or the board the same, just kind of change around the terrain. I like this size table, especially if we're going to introduce cavalry with the dragoon function, with them dismounting and shooting all over the place. I was debating about taking out all 3 maps out and covering the whole thing, but I'm going to try this first. There will be one sharp practice game where it'll be absolutely humongous with 7 foot by 15 feet. But we'll stick with this right now. This gives me a little bit of room to do some housekeeping on the corners, and I can have my tea over here. So, good stuff. Thanks for watching. I think it was great. I enjoyed it. Hopefully the end product comes out good. A lot of editing to come. And yeah, that was a blast. Once again, thanks to Colin over at Charlie Foxtrot. I gotta buy some more of his buildings. You know, fantastic. I love them. And yeah, I'd like to populate my entire battlefield of the future with buildings from his collection. I got to put together his stuff for the freaking Peninsular War too. All this Spanish stuff. Having some tea. All right, fantastic. I'm off to edit. I'll have this out in a little bit, and you guys are amazing. See ya. Have a great week.